Welcome everyone to the Instructors channel. Here we are again for our weekly video. This week's video is about the 6 factors you need to take into account to create better e-learning courses. Factor number 1, meaningfulness. The more meaningful the content, the easier it is to remember. That's why it's very important to clearly introduce the value of the course in the first few screens. Here are just a few principles you can use to improve retention of the material and help learners make meaning out of the material. For instance, association, organization, visual metaphors, familiarity, frequency, patterns, and acronyms. Factor number 2, practice. Active practice or rehearsal enhances retention. There is one type of practice specifically that yields better learning results, and it's called distributed practice. So what do we mean by that? By regularly spaced practice exercise. Factor number 3, interference. The learner may, for instance, confuse both old and new material that have some similarity between each other. This case of memory interference can cause students to forget even those items they remembered clearly for years. The good news is there are at least ways to effectively combat this effect. So what's the strategy? Well, avoid cognitive load. Keep it simple. Avoid those designs that create conflicting mental processes. Another way is by describing concepts or expressing statements as clearly as possible. Spaced learning is a good way to provide students with enough space between modules and activities. In that way, you enhance the consolidation of this new to be learned information in the long-term memory. Factor number 4, transfer. So when old and new tasks or material have more in common, a transfer effect is likely to happen. And we have different types. Positive transfer. The student performs better because he or she uses the previous information from a previous learning. Negative transfer. The learner will have learned or performed a lot better if he hadn't been exposed to a previous learning. Zero transfer. That's a neutral situation. That is, the prior training did not impact this new acquisition of a skill. Factor number 5, levels of processing. The more deeply a learner processes the content, the better he or she will remember it. This deep level of processing also enhances the memory by helping the learner create more meaningful knowledge. And factor number 6, text organization effect. This concept refers to the effects that the structural elements of the course have on the information learners encode and remember. Our brains love organizing information. That is why chapters, outlines, and sections are highly recommended when you are designing your instructional material. So, what did you think about this video on the factors to create better e-learning courses? Leave your comments below. I'd love to read them. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss any other topic.